Hi there, beloved Ascension pioneers, my beloved divine companions. Welcome to my very special and short message about self-love and soul embodiment through that core love of our true nature. So a lot of the times when I talk to people, they still admit to me that sometimes they still say things like, I'm not my body, to themselves. And I felt it's really important to stress the issue of stating anything that comes with the words that are as powerful as the I am, which hold the entire creatrix and matrix of all existence within them. When you say I am, you already align yourself with the natural force of divinity that can flow through you and always flows through you through divine love. When you say I am not, you come into a natural paradox with yourself. You come into a self-conflict by negating a certain aspect of you that is a part of that divinity and is never separate. So there's a lot of spiritual teachings and dogmas that present spirituality in living form, such as bad. And there's a lot of forms like asceticism, and a lot of Buddhists also live in a way that they deny their physicality, and all they do is just live within and pray from within, and they don't really engage so much in external reality. I'm not saying that is bad, because that is the path that these souls are choosing for themselves, and we got to learn to be neutral. But as we move into a journey of physical ascension, which a lot of souls are choosing at this time because they're simply ready, we begin to understand our nature no longer through the eyes of separation, and we know what it means when we say I am. We know that this does not negate our physical form. We know that this is not separate from our physical appearance. We know that sometimes we don't like our physical appearance, especially when we get really naked in all ways, clothes free and all of that, because we just really got to ask ourselves, I have a mirror here that I received from a beautiful soul, a sister in light, and how often can we really look at ourselves in the mirror and really love the being that looks right back at us? Because the eyes are the windows to our soul. It's like a nebula entrance into your star origin self. And when we start working with memory, soul memory on all levels, we will see that any kind of form of negation that still exists there, such as I am not, I'm not good in drawing, I'm not good at this, I'm not my body, I'm not this, we are not just this. But these are all aspects of ourselves. So the moment we put no more limitation and labels, and we don't separate ourselves from anything, then abundance of who we truly are can start flowing into us in all ways. There's a lot of people who sometimes commented on my own sharing that, how can I talk about ascension at the same time share my own physical appearance when I talk about ascension? This is clear thinking in separation terms, because I am, in the being that I am, flows through my physicality. I couldn't be able to do my purpose if I didn't have this physical body in the way that I've chosen to, and many souls have chosen to, and we all have this body for a reason. How can you believe in source that is so beautiful, so intelligent, full of love, divine logic, wisdom, and capacities that we cannot always imagine on our human level? But how can we imagine this great source that we all so adore and talk about in these great ways? And how could this beingness that is completely not being able to, like I said, and being understood through a human mind, and we just describe it as pure love, how can it make mistakes, such as putting you in physical form and then you denying and negating this physical form? These are real important questions we need to start asking ourselves. Why would your physical form not be you? If it is a part of you, it's not something that defines you. It's not something we can become attached to, and that's completely different. Loving yourself, loving a part of you that is also this human form, and the essences of your soul that can flow through this form has nothing to do with either vanity or being attached to your form and fearing of losing it, Loving yourself means loving yourself in the now in all ways, and believing that when you say God, Goddess, this means all of it. It includes your body. So when you say I am, and therefore you say not at the same time, remind yourself, is that true? Is that the true nature of Source? Does Source only know the I am that I am, which are the primal core aspects, the words that we receive through master teachings, the great I am that I am, and at the same time then you add something to it, you already subtract from it. But how can there be any subtraction? Because Source already is all. And you and your living form is not separate from it. So when I receive snarky comments like, how can you talk about ascension and at the same time appear with your appearance? Well, because I share authentically. I share myself. I am the vehicle for the knowledge that comes through me, the understanding that comes through me. It is my soul awareness. A part of this is individualized, and I love this part. And I have deep appreciation of it, the uniqueness and oneness of Source that flows through me and my own individualized soul nature. And as I embrace it, I offer others to embrace their own nature of Source, because it's something that begins to really be important on our ascension path when we move deeper. So the second part of this message I want to address here is the importance of working more and more physically with our bodies. As you know, I've shared some of the exercises that bring more life force, more awaken more tantric flow in our bodies. But there's a lot of other things we will be guided to work with. Embracing ourselves clothes free. How do we really love ourselves in all ways? And just yesterday, I've watched this video of a couple that they talk about sexuality a lot, and I don't know, somehow I stumbled upon this channel, and I saw they got themselves naked in front of the camera, and they had this, of course, parts were covered, but they wanted to present with everybody, it's just how we're all, in a way, we're unique, but we're also the same, so we have nothing to be ashamed of. And there was a part that when we see something like that, we still hold a lot of judgment on our collective level, and we go like, oh, how can somebody do that? Oh, how can somebody talk about this and at the same time be like this? This is judgment. This is not embracing that everybody that embraces themselves in their own way will share themselves in this unique expression. This is self-love. And these beings who are able to do that, they're just doing what they felt guided to do. There's no judgment in that. And the more that we really love the self in our form, in all of our forms, we know that we're all these fragments. They're all parts that make us whole. So sometimes, especially for volunteer souls that don't always, some of them didn't even have a human experience before, and for them it's not always easy to embrace this human aspect of the experience. And they're used to always being of cosmic service and just sharing and giving, and sometimes they're not always able to receive, and they don't even know how it is to be human as well, horizontally, to merge with the vertical that they are in spirit. But you need to understand that each aspect of us knows no separation, and when we enter a human form, this form is not separate from the rest of our forms that we may have known and experienced, and each of us gives us more self-exploration, more self-knowledge of how Source creates and how creation is infinite and vast and limitless and beautiful. I have immense love of creation, not just for Source, but the creation. It's all one. And when I look at, for example, the mountains, each day I have these beautiful mountains through my window, I feel such deep love. But how can I feel such deep love for the mountains or for the sunset and sunrise and the trees and all the beautiful aspects of nature if, for example, I can't even look at myself in the mirror and I stare at myself in my eyes and I see myself not separate from all this majestic beauty that surrounds me? And I say, I'm not my body. How can a mountain say, I am not a mountain? You know what I mean? This is really important to know that this is not where we end, or physicality is not where we end. It's a partial experience. But right now, in this deep moment of feeling, of experiencing it, this is what we have, and it's beautiful. So when we become human, when we embrace human form, we got to understand that Source never makes mistakes. And when our I am, the grand totality of what we are in truth, it's not something that we can describe with words, as you know. But when it decides to kind of send a particle of us, of the greater us that we truly are here, to have this experience that it doesn't make any mistakes. The only mistake that can be made is the perspective of the mind that can really be limiting in this way, and then can say, therefore I am not. And this is how we constantly believe in Source, but we negate it at the same time. So we don't have a feeling experience of Source when we do so. That's why we need to embrace Source in our lives through our soul, which is soul embodiment. I like to talk about this in ways that we really, really start doing the work in each and every cell of our being. So during the next few years, this is something that I already shared with you, we'll be invited to do. And a part of this is really working with physicality. So really embracing our physicality. In the recent years, we've been embracing our emotional self, how we think, how we form our thoughts. And this is all important. But a true alchemist, he needs to know the basic elements so he can transform them through awareness. This is what soul alchemy is. So how can you really create any form of alchemy if you don't really know the elements you're working with? And your body is pure chemistry, it's elements. Before embracing something, you cannot know it, because we only know when we love. These are the basic statements, Socrates, Plato, all of these. So I love, therefore I am. So only through love, this is embracing each aspect of creation and form, we really begin to create understanding. With understanding, we have knowledge, true knowledge. And with that, we can truly begin to work our soul chemistry, so our soul magic. So when we start working with the elements in ourselves, it really begins to be important to create magic. So perceiving yourself, not saying anymore, oh, I feel subtracted from my body. I feel negated from my body. I don't fully accept my body. Sometimes there are things that we cannot understand because we haven't really explored them yet. But that doesn't mean we need to negate them, right? It's just maybe an aspect we haven't deeply dived into yet. So let's say somebody in their lives never had an experience of how it is to make love. But there's still maybe a desire within them to try this one day. And they cannot say, I am not a being that ever makes love, just because they never had an experience of it yet. The desire still is inside, and we know, we're a soul, we have a desire. And when we experience something, we begin to explore a new realm of who we are. And therefore, if we subtract ourselves from that and we negate that experience, we will never experience it, because we already have decided this is not. And how can that even be if the I am is all that is? I am. It says everything. We got to feel those words. These are not some random words. You cannot say I am and then negate something in the same sentence, because the I am already loses its meaning then. This is something that many masters have shared about, and it's something that we need to feel through. So I've been sharing today a lot on my page about how it is to start working more with the physical aspects that bring soul memory, that bring soul infusion into our bodies. Let's say working with scent, with fragrances that awaken your memories, deep solar memories. And let's say you work with color, sound, pure sound frequencies, non-distorted, non-manipulated sound frequencies, colors, certain visuals. That's when we're really going to start embracing the physical aspects of our chemistry, the compounds that make up our human makeup, our human DNA. We cannot become masters of DNA if we don't even know what it means, if we don't really get to know our physical structure. And it is okay to say, well, we don't know everything yet, but we love it. We love the experience. We want the adventure. We want to get to know that aspect, and that's how we're going to grow and evolve. We cannot say just because we never had the experience, we don't know it. This is judgment. A lot of the souls who have not yet experienced something judge things that seem random and remote to them. They don't have an understanding of it, so immediately they say, oh, that's not how it is. Love is something that even though you might not have a direct experience, you still know that you're infinitely plugged into the creatrix of everything, and the experiences are all there, and they're all shared. So if I make a masterpiece, if I make a painting, if I create something, and it's from the divine core, it's shared, and it's tapping into all of life and creation, so it's shared. If I do it only for my ego and for myself, and it's purposeful, it's not purposeful, then it's not the same. So when we start perceiving ourselves this way, intrinsic, always connected, always sharing, always communing with source and creation at the same time, then we're going to start creating things really through the depth of soul alchemy. So I really recommend, like I already shared with you, to work with, I don't know, I just have here some of the fragrances, like essential oil blends and maybe aura sprays, when maybe sometimes your body goes through ascension symptoms, which in fact are just leading us to a new rewiring, new rebooting system. And you just, you assist yourself, because scent evokes memories, And a lot of things in your body will be more easily be able to shift when you work also with physical things in nature. Meditation and alignment with source is one part, but also embracing physical compounds of our earthly structure and how our bodies are formulated and how they're created and what compounds us and what makes us the way we are. It's also very important, and they're not separate. So anything that we say in terms of negating is really an illusion. And it's time to open up, to start loving all. And I really recommend, if you do maybe the mirror exercise, look at yourself. And without defining yourself, just look at yourself. Start feeling the beauty. Start seeing if you have any glow around you. What's your aura? What does it feel like? You don't have to see it. Just feel. What do your eyes tell you about you in this moment? Maybe they're going to tell you you're very happy. Maybe they're going to reveal some sadness. Embrace it. But your own mirror gazing technique is very powerful to embrace your body. And then if you're ready, you can have a big mirror and look at all of your body. But it starts this way. And these are some very basic things that we can use when we're starting to be more deeply soul embodied and embracing the physical nature as we're getting prepared for the new step in our physical ascension. So I hope this video assisted you in any way or form in your own beautiful soul love and soul alchemy process. And I'll talk to you soon, and have a beautiful holiday season. As always, so much love, wisdom, and power. Take care, and bye-bye.